All you ever want to do is play. So let's play.
Yeah. Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Real emo, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in real emo. I said stay woke, real emo. Stay woke, real emo. I said stay woke, real emo. Stay woke, real emo.
I said stay woke, real emo. Stay woke, real emo. I said stay woke, real emo. Stay woke,
Yeah,
real
hey,
emo.
well, we can hold the peace or we can wage war, but I'm gonna get what I came for. Real gang, that's a crew name. We all graduated to the two-door. Sacred Global, that's an infrastructure. All y'all niggas like the Titanic. I'm the iceberg, talking no Zucker on the front lines, but we don't panic. Shit getting messy, got nothing to rest, and I'm tired of niggas. They front they blessings, they want my suggestion, but don't want the fee. I'm just doing me, I don't answer their questions. All this flexing, got no one to see. All this aggression, I just want some peace. Not even sure that I like it in heaven. I guess when we get there, then we gon' see. I do not understand, I do not get what you do. You only got one life, but you act like you got two.
I got hairy legs.
Yo, we go bigger than what you are willing to do. I run with king, but you peasants, you run with the goons. Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Real emo, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in real emo. I said stay woke, real emo. Stay woke, real emo. I said stay woke, real emo. Stay woke, real emo.
I said stay woke, real emo. Stay woke, real emo. I said stay woke, real emo. Stay woke, real emo.
Hey, y'all some jokers, y'all a bunch of clowns. You will not get a laugh out of me. You can talk, but you can't denounce. I live a different theology. Why I transferred to a new account? You just fucked over a prodigy. Posted up with a rented crown.
You are the king and apology.
You about to see a new side of me. I hope you know. We stand up and watch our enemy go. Empire fall, my legacy grows. I might just hop on this melody flow. All this vision, no clarity though. Y'all play a game that I bear in my soul. Ebony ivory, nobody knows. Business vasectomy, nothing can grow. Everyone promises more than they actually do. We don't deliver on anything other than truth. Yo, we go bigger than what you are willing to do. I run with kings, but
We
you
choose
peasants, you run
truth
with the
over
goons.
facts.
Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Real emo, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in real emo. I said stay woke, real emo. Stay woke, real emo. I said stay woke, real emo. Stay woke, real emo.
I said stay woke, real emo. Stay woke, real emo. I said stay woke, real emo. Stay woke, real emo. You really have people fooled out here, don't you? When are you peasants gonna learn that
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
it ends today?
SWOLE NORMY.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Test, testing, testicles, testicles. Oh, welcome everyone to episode 1900 and 6 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, broadcast, gamecast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on? Beaches, booshes, busters, hustling your hoes. It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. I'm dying over here. And today's episode of the Sleeves Cast is powered by Everest and K2 Flexin' on all you beaches. It's all right. I choked on some gains.
The fucking Catalina wine.
I choked on some sick fucking gains today. I'm sorry. I apologize. A little rough. Well, what's going on, fam? How are we doing? We are live for the Sunday Funday Q&Anus Ask Papa Swolio live. So you can start right now by dropping your questions in the comments below, and we will jump right into it. Before we get started, smash that like button, especially if you're watching live on YouTube, The Daily Swole. And of course, leave a 5-star review if you enjoy the Mancast, which I'm sure you do if you're here. You must like the fucking Mancast. Otherwise, I don't know why you would be here. But if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, leave that 5-star review and check us out everywhere. You can find all the links over there at www.thedailyswole.com. And of course, by the way, fam, if you are ready to join the Swole fam today, last day for the Hot Swole Summer Special, head on over to swolenormousx.com and get your big time savings on the 3-month, the 6-month, and the annual options. Do not miss out on that. Ends tonight at midnight. You don't want to miss out on those fucking gains, fam, because we have an accountability meeting tomorrow and for members only. And we got some awesome releases. You're not going to want to miss this tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time. Let's get some more fucking applause for that. Tomorrow. Accountability meeting every single Monday, every week, 12 noon Eastern time. Private episode inside Swole TV. Don't miss out tomorrow. We got new releases. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be amazing. So join us. We got new drops and you are going to fucking love it. All right. So hopefully we don't have any like interruptions in terms of, we'll get into a couple announcements after we bust this nut wide open. And I know yeah, shocker, you're excited. I know we're going to bust it up. Don't worry, Falcon. Don't worry. But they're doing some major tree work behind the house. They're literally cutting down, literally cutting down trees in half. So it's just a lot of chainsawing. So hopefully maybe around this time would be better because there might be on a lunch break or something like that. They're working hard in the fucking heat and, get the straps up there, cutting it down, but it's all falling in the yard and stuff. And they're chainsawing it and taking it away. So hopefully we don't get any, hopefully they don't hit any power lines or anything. And hopefully it's not too loud. But if you hear some chainsawing, they're cutting up some fucking wood. They're cutting up some wood. Some wood. All right. So what are you smashing today? Drop that in the comments down below and let's get into, let's bust this nut open. Let's get into some questions. You ready, fam? Are you ready? Here we go. Falcon, take us away, please. Thank you so much for thank you. Hopefully you don't fuck this shit up again today. Put some respect on it, fam. What'd you smash? Drop in the comments down below. Put some respect on it.
Sunday, greatest country in the world.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. Red, White, and Swole drop the RWS in the comments down below for a chance to win today's Swole card. It's fucking nice. Nicely done, Falcon. It looks very nice. It looks very nice. You're much better with the camera work today. You're much better. You didn't fuck shit up. We got the focus down right. Very nice, Falcon. All right, fam. Again, swolenormousx.com. Join the fam today. Like I said, you can join for less than $5, but if you want to get access to the unlimited memberships, ends tonight at midnight. Hot Swole Summer Special is ending. Go check it out, swolenormousx.com. And tomorrow you'll be with all memberships. With all memberships, you get access to all the private live streams inside Swole TV. So tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time, we'll be there. Make sure you check that out. Be there or be fucking square. We also have we also got a clip today A brand new clip on the Swolenormous YouTube channel. Your child doesn't want you to have rock hard abs. Remember that from yesterday? If you missed yesterday's episode, go check out that clip. It's atrocious. Your child doesn't want to lay. Your child wants a fat stomach like a soft pillow. I don't think your child cares. I don't think your child cares. Stop trying to make an excuse to be fat and lazy. Seriously, my child wants a nice soft pillow to hug. Fuck it. Let your child hug a fucking pillow or a stuffed animal. You should be in shape. You should be healthy. You should be leading by example. This is some nonsense, so go check that out. All right. Also, for those of you that might be new, papaswolio.com is where you can find all the Swolenormous apparel. Head on over there, papaswolio.com, and use code, all one word, DailySwole. DailySwole for 10% off your order at checkout. So DailySwole, all one word, DailySwole, fucking amazing new shit. And we got some new designs coming that's going to blow your fucking nips off. So don't miss out on any of that. Check it out, papaswolio.com. And let's just jump right into some questions. We got a bunch of things live. We got a couple stories to talk about. You know what? Drop some more questions. We'll get to them. I'm just going to try to, star them. But we got a couple announcements, got a couple stories going on, and some shit going on in the news. I'm not sure because this is a Red, White, and Swole. Ask Papa Swolio, Sunday Funday Q&Anus. It's all the above. It's just fucking America, and it's a lot of questions. It's a lot of just fucking shit going on. How many people are watching the Olympics? I don't think anyone. Like the ratings are lower than ever before. It's like the lowest it's been in who knows how long. I think I have an article here that talks about it. Yeah. So we talked about the opening ceremony. How does anyone watch that shit? Like literally. Tokyo Olympics opening ceremony draws in 16.7 million viewers in the US. That is such a small fraction. The lowest for 33 years and down 37% from the 2016 games in Rio. I wonder why. You know what we say, fam? Get woke, go broke. That's what's going to fucking happen. If you keep on... He's heating up! If you keep on dropping this stupid nonsense, everyone keeps on dyeing their hair and taking a knee, people are not going to want to watch that shit. If anything is a patriotic event, it's the fucking Olympics. It's the Olympics, and I literally this year, and I think most people that actually love this country, couldn't give less of a shit. I want to support the United States, but not these fucking wokesters that are trying to use this as a virtue signaling event. So fuck off. I hope you lose, especially if you're going to be doing all that bullshit like the U.S. soccer team. Fuck all the way off. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. That's all I have to say about that, Janae. Who cares? Who cares about the rest of this article? We know the headline. You can read more into that. But in other words, not many people are watching. Not many people are watching. But I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. There's a lot of things that I'm not even aware of anymore. I think it's because, social media is such a big part of everyone's life now. You're just getting absolutely assaulted by so many things. Everything is an event. You have this award show and this award show. You have the Olympics. You have this sporting event. You have that. It's just, there's so much going on. People are just completely tuning shit out. I really just think that's the thing. And if everything's political, people just get tired of it. Most people really don't give a fuck about politics. I mean, I care as much to a point, but most of this stuff doesn't affect us in our daily lives. It's starting to, because things are spreading and trickling down faster because of this mind virus of social media. It's affecting people at local levels, but a lot of this stuff is just getting blown out of proportion and people are just getting tired of it. I really think people are getting tired of it. And I agree, Cerny. I agree. It's sad. It's sad. Cerny said, feel bad for the athletes who are serious about their sport. I agree, because you have people that are training their entire lives for this one moment. And it's unfortunate that a lot of people are like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. And it's for us, it's sad because the Olympics were always that thing that people have this dream to compete in the Olympics since they're little. And when they were little, maybe it wasn't completely full blown woke and all this bullshit. Who wants to watch an Olympic event? Check this out. And this is why sports were doing really bad before they opened up stadiums again. Who wants to watch a sporting event where there's no one in the stands? Like, who wants to go to a movie theater and not have anyone in the theater? Like, you go there for the energy. You go there for the crowd cheering. You go there for the intensity. But when there's no one in the stands, who the fuck wants to watch that shit? It's like the WNBA. No one wants to watch it. No one cares. Stop trying to make it. Stop trying to pretend like people care. People don't want to watch that shit. No one's going. No one's allowed to go in, whatever their restrictions are. Do you want to watch something where it's like a club? People want to go into a club that's sold out, that's packed, right? There's a waiting line around the block. People want to go to a restaurant that is at capacity. There's a line around the block and there's reservations for months. People want to go to a movie that's sold out, right? People want to go. It's like this, or a concert that's sold out. There's that energy that people want to be around. If you're going somewhere in public, you want it to be fucking packed. You don't want to go somewhere and have it be empty. You don't want to go to your favorite artist and your concert and it's completely empty. There's just no energy. That's why you're there, for the energy. And I don't even know how these people are competing with no one in the crowd. You can imagine how much harder it is to compete. It's got to seem so fucking empty. Who wants to play in a stadium where there's no one there? Fucking weird. Fucking weird. You know, this stuff is you're doing this for the crowd, because the performers, the athletes, yeah, WWE, everything. If you're going to an event in public, you want it to be, you want there to be people there. You want there to be people there. Doesn't make sense. Why did people go to Tokyo? You could have just streamed this from some stadium in Washington or something. Why did all these teams have to go there? Just do it somewhere else and just stream it to the States, right? You could have just competed in the United States. Why'd you have to go to Tokyo for no one to be there? It's so weird. Billions of dollars. Fucking break. It's so weird. Keep on dropping those questions in the comments down below. We'll take questions in a second. Because we're talking America today, I just want to throw a couple things out there. You know what? We'll take a couple questions. We'll get into another story. We got a couple stories. So if you have questions, drop in the comments below. Hashtag AskPapaSwole. And of course, red, white, and swole for a chance to win today's swole card. Got a burp coming up. Hold on. Here we go. Oh, that was not bad. That's a start. They should have waited one more year. You know what's also atrocious is that they didn't want to redo all the advertising, so they're calling it the 2020 Olympics. I'm sorry, motherfuckers. It's 2021. Don't call it the 2020 Olympics. It's 2021. So the next one's going to be in 2025. Who fucking cares? It's even numbers. Who gives a shit? Stop. It's not 2020. It's not 2020. Stop pretending like this is the 2020 Olympics. Last time I checked, we're literally halfway through 2021. It's insulting to everyone's intelligence. Stop trying to save money because you're too fucking lazy to, I don't know. It's so stupid. Stupid. So much frustration. So frustrated. You know, let's take another story. How about that? You want another story? We got some other bullshit.
What's in the box?
All right, let's talk military because this is a very America thing. This is a very America thing. So let's see this other nonsense. We got some more proposals from the lunatics in government. America's daughters shouldn't be drafted against their will. So conservatives, people on the right, are fighting this Democratic push to require women to register for the selective service. I don't think so. So a lot of you served in the military. I haven't served in the military. So I have my opinions on this. Just from looking at this is just another reason to break apart the nuclear family. This is another reason just to provide more bodies to fall before these petro wars. All right, just sacrificing more people. If a female wants to serve in the military, I think if a female wants to serve in the military, that's fine. But honestly, I really do not, this is just my personal opinion, I'll explain it. I do not think women should be serving in combat roles because they're not as strong. You're weakening, okay? Physically weakening the unit in many, many ways, not to mention sexual tensions, other issues that can arise from this. You're just tiptoeing. It's a very gray area. And I'm not saying that women can't do it. However, you all know that they're lowering the standards in order to get into the military. They want more people to join, so they're lowering the standards. I think if a woman can actually pass those standards, the standards for all military, men, women, if they can, maybe surpass it, why not? But you shouldn't be lowering standards to allow more people to get in, men or women. And just because women are not producing testosterone like men, you're just not, if you need to climb over a wall, all right, if you need to climb over a wall and a woman's trying to grab your hand and she doesn't have the strength to do it, that's fucking dangerous, okay? A chain is only as strong as its weakest link and has nothing to do with me being misogynist, has nothing to do with me being sexist or thinking women can't do a job. Maybe women can. Maybe they could be in a command center, but a combat role is what I'm talking about. I think that's a very dangerous thing because you are weakening physically. It's just a fact. It's just a fucking fact. Okay, you put a woman against any man for physical undertakings, very rarely will you have them surpass. And it's just evolution. Women are not supposed to be doing, in most cases, you have the Viking warriors and Lagertha. If you watch, the show Vikings, they're savages. I'm not saying all women. It's just a very gray area. Where do you draw the line? I just don't think that, I don't know. If you want, it's just, these are just initial thoughts, but it also leverages the same kind of breakdown in our society. All right, let's just kill off more women. The only people that can have babies in our world are women. The only people. I mean, in many ways, that makes women more valuable than men because the women are the only ones that can reproduce. So I don't think we should be sacrificing our 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old women for wars that in many ways, no one should be fighting. In many ways, we should not be involved with. And this has to go with money and control and power and shit like that. But just because some politicians in Washington, D.C., big pharma, these big companies and all these people that are trying to leverage power in other countries, why would be sacrificing our women? Why should be sacrificing the only way that we can? And we're not even having children. We're actually losing population. We're going to have a population issue because newer generations don't want to have kids. So this is actually compounding the problems. So I think if women want to serve in the military, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We're talking about combat roles because you know where it's going to go. It's going to keep on going that direction. And as we kind of move closer to a war or conflict with either Russia or China, who's to say they're not going to, obviously they're doing this for a reason. Something's on the horizon. Something's on the horizon. And if you don't sign up for it, that's a felony. Whether or not they prosecute or not, they can always prosecute whenever they want. So what are your thoughts? Drop in the comments below. I think if you have a choice, I think if a woman wants to, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think there's a very good argument against combat roles, but I don't think there's anything wrong with women serving the military. I know many of you do or have, and fucking respect. Let's give a round of applause for women in the military and all service members. There's nothing, look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But like the strongest woman might be able to match maybe the weakest man. And it's literally what I always say, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And physically, it's a danger. Physically, it's a risk. And you're putting the entire unit, forget the fucking, you're putting men at risk. You're putting the entire unit at risk if you can't physically handle a task. And there's a reason why men produce testosterone. There's a reason why men always went out to hunt. There's a reason why men have always served in the military, because we're stronger. It just is what it is on average. It is what it is. And we can sacrifice men. Unfortunately, like men can be sacrificed more readily than women because you could have one man and 100 women and you could have 100 babies. But if you have no women, you ain't having any babies. You ain't having any reproduction. You ain't having any more women or any more men come into this world. So goes to show that we should be protecting. Remember all they say, protect the women and children. Why? Why do you want to protect the women and children? Because they're not able to defend themselves the same way. Women are more nurturing. Women tend to nest and have children and be very, you can multitask because you're watching kids and you're X, Y, and Z and you're taking care of the home. That's not traditional. That's evolution. It's not traditional. It's evolution. So, it comes down to logic and common sense and biology, which of course today we know that most people don't want to address biology. Biology doesn't exist. It's just a figment of our imagination and you can be whatever you want from one day to the next. We know how it works.
Chicks will dig you, or dudes, or whatever gender thing you're into.
So I don't know. Drop in the comments down below. What are your thoughts? I just don't like this continuous push to, there's nothing wrong with equality, but a lot of women that are fighting or have fought for decades or whatever for more equality are going to not like this too much. It's like, well, do you want to be equal or not? You want equality or not? Let's look through this a little bit. Senate Armed Service Committee on Wednesday approved a controversial provision in the National Defense Authorization Act. It would require women between the ages of 18 and 25 with the Selective Service System to register for possible conscription to the military. Current law requires all men who reach the age of 18 to register, who would then draft them in case of an emergency. And in 2015, the military lifted its ban on females serving in combat roles, and women's groups have been urging Congress to change the law. I don't know. I do not know. I don't know. I mean, there's one thing to be equal. There's one thing to be equal, but I mean, we're not equal. Here's the thing. We're not equal. Men and women are not equal. And you might be like, oh my God, he just said men and women are not equal. Are we? Are we? Equal in what? Like, should we have equal rights to vote? Sure. That's fine. Like, what kind of equality are we talking about here? It's the same kind of nonsense as, for example, I was laughing or joking about the WNBA, that people say, well, the WNBA or women's soccer should be paid as much as men. Well, they would be if more people wanted to watch it. If WNBA stadiums were packed to the brim, they would be getting paid a lot more, wouldn't they? They'd be getting paid a lot more, but they don't fill up stadiums, so they lose money every fucking year. That's it. It's just fucking facts. It's the reality. There are a lot of women singers. What about Taylor Swift? She seems to pull in a pretty penny. Jennifer Lopez. These ladies tend to pull in a lot of money. Okay. All right. Let's say Nicki Minaj or, I don't know, any of these artists or actresses. Fine. They're fine. If people want to see them and people want to pay them money, they're going to make more money. But if you're not making a good enough product, people aren't going to want to go see it. So Taylor Swift will sell out fucking, I don't know, she'll sell out a fucking Applebee's like in 5 seconds. You know, anything that she does, she'll book because people want to see it and they'll pay a lot of money. And they might not go pay and see some kind of like new male artist because they're not that good. Makes sense. You're making a better product. You have more attention. You're more celebrity status. And that's that. But if the product sucks, why should you get paid more? Right? People don't want to spend $100 for a ticket to go watch layups. It's just the fact. All right. So if it's more riveting and it's more exciting, people will go see it. When I say equal, they're not. We're not equal to women. We're not equal. And fucking, that's great. That's great that we're not completely equal. And I'm saying, on average, men are stronger. That's not equal. Just because you want women to be stronger on average doesn't mean they're going to be. Fuck, men are not equal to each other. A lot of men are stronger than me. A lot of men are weaker than me. We're not equal. We're not equal. A lot of men are taller. A lot of men are taller than me. A lot of men are shorter than me. We're not equal in height. Like, why can't we use our brains and be like, oh, that makes sense. We're talking logic here, fam. It doesn't mean we don't have equal rights. It doesn't mean one person's less of a fucking human. Everyone wants to extrapolate this to like, oh my God, you're not equal. You're mean to me. You can be a little bit more analytical than that. You can be a little bit more objective than that. We're not being subjective. We're being logical. And this is generally on average. So it's, I don't know. People are loony today. All right. So that being said, if it was very, very, yeah, that's going to be a great clip. That's going to be a great clip on TikTok. Shit. Oh yeah, right? Anna, nothing makes a man feel manlier than his woman asking him to open a jar. Mama Swoley was like, I'll be walking through the kitchen. She'd be like, babe, can you grab that? I have to grab something off a shelf. I'm like, and I grab something off a shelf that's like, I don't know, eye level to me. And she's like, she can't get it because she's so short. All right. Anyway. Yeah, there's a reason for it. There's a reason why men are protective like that. There's a reason why women have evolved to be very nurturing. There's a reason why women, you've seen come on, a lot of you are mothers. You're on the phone, you're cooking, and you're watching your kids at the same time. And you have like a soap opera or like a show where you're watching the Daily Swole. I don't know how you do 4 things at once, but you do. Makes sense. If you have a few kids running around, you better have good multitasking. You better have eyes in the back of your fucking head. A lot of guys can only focus on, in general, one thing at a time. Why? Tunnel vision, hunting, focus. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. A lot of men have a singular focus. It's just usually, and that's evolution. We're just in our society today where we're not in our evolutionary state. So the lines are getting blurred, and this cultural nonsense and this delusion that's going around via social media, right? That the real mind virus that we keep on talking about, it's causing people to forget that evolution exists, the reason why we have what we have, the reason why things are the way they are. I just don't know how I feel about women in combat roles because I think it's definitely a risk. And I definitely don't agree with lowering standards in the military. I absolutely, completely do not agree with that. That puts everyone at risk. Everyone at risk. I really do think it's a huge problem, especially, and think about that. The conflict, you have those kind of tensions between men and women. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, any types of assault, who knows? Who the fuck knows? You've been in locker rooms before. Men are animals for a reason. We're all animals, but you know what I'm saying. All right. Enough of that. Let's get a little America again. Fuck yeah! Oh, I won't get any hate for that. It's all right. It's all good. You want to talk about getting hate online? Just say shit like that. Oopsies. All right. Let's take some questions. Drop in the comments below. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. Let's see what we got here. Mike, Papa Swolio, now that I will be doing deadlifts, I'm curious on your thoughts about overhand or underhand grip. Do you prefer both? Overhand grip? Sometimes I'll do overhand. You're talking about a closed grip, like over under. I would say if you're doing over under, make sure you switch grips. Make sure you do right hand under, left hand over, and then you rotate. Don't just do it one way all the time. So you'll get a better grip. You'll get a better grip if you're doing it without straps or something like that. Sometimes I'll go for double overhand. Really depends on how I feel. But if you're doing one over, one under, just make sure you mix it up like every set or something like that. Annika, does Tess still help write up your cards, or is she being lazy? No, Falcon does it. He takes offense to the fact that I know. Annika, I know. Calm down, Freddie. You see what you did, Annika? You see? All that fucking work that Freddie does, and you're going to be over here, this Tess do it. Freddie does it. You know that. You know better. Terry, what up, Boosh? Let's see. After a round of antibiotics, what do you recommend? What do you do to normalize or restore your gut biome? Good bacteria? Yeah, I would make sure you can take, and you can look online, talk to your doctor, all that stuff. But personally, if I were to take antibiotics, I would also take probiotics. Now, you don't want to take them at the same time because they'll cancel out. But I believe, I'm not sure, it depends on the type, but I believe that if you separate them by a couple hours, it'll be fine. But yeah, antibiotics destroys the body. I know sometimes it's important, but fuck, it's really bad for your gut. So definitely probiotics. But you can take them at the same time. You just don't want to take them literally at the same time. I think you have to spread them out like a few hours, and you can take your probiotics, and that will help repopulate the good bacteria. Remember, fam, antibiotic, anti-bio means anti-life. So as much as antibiotics can destroy bad bacteria, it's usually an overgrowth, right? It's usually too much of the bad, because you always have a balance. You always have, quote, bad bacteria and good bacteria. There's really no good or bad. It's just that balance that you need. But when you take antibiotics, it just destroys everything. It's like a nuclear bomb in your gut. So just make sure you're taking a quality probiotic supplement afterwards, a good course of that. But I believe you could take them at the same time as long as you spread them out. I forget how many hours, but you can look into that more. Matthew, Papa Swolio got a swolosophy question. Let's do it. When it comes to FEF, I feel like I've eliminated, at least to the best of my knowledge, the negative influences in my life. Would adding positive influences to my circle be best way to continue fucking negativity in my life? I hope I made sense with that question. Well, obviously. Yeah, I mean, you don't want no one in your life, but you just want to cut out the bad shit. If you're cutting out the bad shit, it's going to leave you with more good shit. So definitely positive influences. People that are inspiring to you, people that encourage you and support you. And it doesn't mean that you just need people that are fluffing your pillow. It's not like you just want yes men or yes women like, oh, you're doing great, and lie to you. You want honest people, but people, you can, and what I mean by a tight circle or a positive circle, it could be podcasts that really educate you. It could be, books that you read. So a lot of people that don't have a lot of maybe in-person or physical friendship, you can look to a lot of authors and a lot of podcasts and things to fuel your brain and to fuel your, the information that you're achieving. So it's definitely important to bring in positive influences. And that's going to look different for every person. So meditation, you want to be your own best influence. You want to be your own best friend, because the voice inside your head is, person number one. If that person's a lunatic, yeah, you're just gonna be beating yourself up all the time. So making sure that you're surrounding yourself with positive people. It's not just positive people, it's just positive influences. You definitely want to bring that in for sure. Tyler, I'm going to get my blood and cholesterol checked tomorrow morning. How long should a fast be? I don't want to stress about it because of eating and training. Your doctor should be telling you that. I mean, it depends on the test. And remember, just getting standard cholesterol isn't going to tell you good or bad. So you have to be very careful with that. A doctor's like, because that's a snapshot in time. And if you don't eat, usually your cholesterol will be elevated because your body actually releases more. So as far as I'm aware, but there's definitely a lot of other concerns. A lot of those generic just blood profiles aren't really that accurate. A lot of times you can get specific tests done privately and then send them away to like one of those like lab. You can get them individually done at one of those like LabQuest. You go there, you get blood work and you request or you purchase certain tests. Depends if you have health insurance or whatnot, but just be very careful. High cholesterol does not mean necessarily a bad thing. There's a lot of misconceptions. There's great books out there like The Cholesterol Myth and a lot of great content that that dispels a lot of the classic, like, high cholesterol. Your body produces cholesterol. You need cholesterol. It's what helps produce testosterone and, keep all your hormone levels proper. So there's a lot of misconceptions about cholesterol. It's what helps, cholesterol is used in the cell membranes and such like that. Very important. But your doctor would be like, don't eat for X, Y, and Z. Whatever it is for the test, they should be telling you that, not me. Rowan Naval, Papa Swolio, can you tell us a bit about how you started lifting, how long it took for you to see results and things you've learned? I do every day. I'm not going to go through all the things I've learned because we have 2,000 episodes that go over that every single day. So I started lifting by going to the fucking gym and obsessing about it and learning as much as I can, reading, learning, executing, applying it. I have a degree in exercise science and all that stuff, and it's really just for me learning on my own and doing it in the gym. How long it took for you to see results, in what way? That's never a good question because I'm still seeing results now. So I've been training for 20 years, so it never stops. I continue to see results today. So that depends on how well you do it. So it really doesn't, that's really an irrelevant question. What results are you talking about? Like for me to get a little bit stronger, for me to put on, it's not that nuanced. It's not that important. The most important thing is that you're doing it to the best of your ability. You're tracking it gradually over time, depends on what your goals are, where you're starting from, and not stopping. That's for damn sure. But you're going to learn best by applying things. So when everyone asks me like, hey, what do you think is the best workout thing or split? Should I do chest and back? Should I do chest and triceps? Try it. Do it. You're going to know what you like best and what works best by doing it. That's the only way you're going to learn for you. That's why there's so many different ways to eat. And that's why there's so many different training splits, is because a lot of people do things a different way. So some people will prefer chest and back. Some people love to do chest on its own day. Some people like to do upper lower. Some people like to do full body 5 days a week. And that's why there's an argument, quote unquote, for every different thing. So it's really not one thing that works over another. It's really how you are executing it and what works best for you. But you just have to be consistent as fuck. My recommendation is whatever you're doing, don't change too often. Because if you're doing a certain lifting program or schedule and you're changing every week, it's not long enough. You have to stick with the program or a protocol for several weeks to even know if you're doing it properly. And also your nutrition has to be on point too. It's not the lifting, it's the sleep, it's everything else. So you're not going to lift for a week and be like, it doesn't work. You have to give it a lot of time. That's why most people aren't consistent. They're not patient. Most people don't get results for these reasons. What's up, Mike? When is it on a kidney diet? Hardly any protein, but carbs. Shit, carbs are okay. No sweet potatoes. Does that sound right? Bro, I have no idea what you just said. Grass, for example, I mean, if you have any health conditions specifically to that, but protein isn't bad for the kidneys. That's been disproven. Like having protein, like a gram per pound of body weight and such like that, it's not bad for the kidneys. If you're eating quality proteins, like that's not true. I know from personal experience. But if you already have certain conditions, there might be contraindications there. So for example, but yeah, that's not like, if I'm eating grass-fed beef, it's not bad on my kidneys. There was a podcast recently. It might have been Paul Saladino. It might be the Fundamental Health. He talked about that recently, I think. I listen to so much shit in the background when I'm training and stuff. He might have just gone over and talked about how protein isn't bad for the kidneys, and it's a misnomer. That's not even the right word for it, but that's a common misconception. Anna, we're having a potluck Wednesday. What's a good SWOLE-approved dish I can take? Make a fucking ribeye. Do everyone a favor. Check out the recipe archive. Or you can make like a sweet potato and bacon mix or something. It depends, right? A SWOLE-approved dish depends on whoever's eating it, right? It might be right or not. Most people don't eat well for their bodies, so don't expect people to actually like, ooh, this is going to be a good choice for me. People just put whatever they want in their mouths. That's all right. That's very good, Jennifer. Don't forget, many men aren't even accepted into the military. Yeah, for good reason. They can't hack it. So they shouldn't hack it. They can go and work. They can go into the Air Force. I'm like, I'm just kidding. Air Force joke. I'm not even in the military, but that's a good one. I know some of you would be like, Marines would be like, ha, 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 yeah. I'm just kidding. Thank you, everyone, for serving. Thank you. Let's see here. Rihanna, how long do you walk your dog? Would love for reference. How long? It depends. Actually, when I walk her, I walk her as long as I feel like it, and she has to keep up. But we have some hills by the house. So because we're not walking her up like a few flight of stairs anymore, I walk her up and down. I have her go up and down the hill. So it's working her legs. So I have her like run up and I bring her back down, and I have her run back up and run back down. And I, on a leash, and I'm like pulling her back. Come on, baby. And she runs up, she runs back down. So yeah, it's like anything else. Like if you go from 0 and walk the dog like 3 hours, it's going to be exhausted. So just build up to it if you're walking longer. All right, more questions. If you got questions, drop in the comments down below. Hit that like button, fam. Hit that like button. Brian, is white rice okay in an elimination diet? An elimination diet is just whatever you cut out. So you can eat it. You can eat white rice on an elimination diet, but at the same time, if you still have issues afterwards, I would recommend cutting that out. So whatever you don't cut out, you can't test. That's the rule. So when people look at elimination diet, like, can I eat this? Can I eat this? Well, look around the world, right? People eat whatever the fuck they want already. So whatever you cut out, you can test. Remember, you're cutting this out for 6 to 8 weeks. That way, when you re-implement it, you can test, your body resets. You can see how you react to it, because your body's, it's a scientific experiment. Your body's more of a control. That's what a control is in an experiment. So if you don't cut out enough stuff, you don't know exactly what's going on. So for example, let's say you wanted to test white rice and broccoli. All right. You cut them both out, then you add them back in and you're like, oh, I feel bloated. Well, which one was it? That's why you want to implement them one at a time. Or let's say you're eating all these foods and I feel so bloated. What could it be? That's why you have to remove them all so you can test them one at a time. You remove them for 6 to 8 weeks. Your body resets, kind of like reabsorbs certain defense mechanisms and certain antibodies and whatever it might produce based on whatever you're eating. And, your body just resets to a new normal because those inflammatory or foods that are fucking up your gut, whatever the condition might be, aren't there. So your body kind of finds a new normal. And then when you implement it, usually it'll pop because your body builds up a defense where you're constantly bloated. That becomes your new normal. But when you remove it and you're no longer bloated, when it comes back, it's very noticeable. It's like if you chronically don't get enough sleep, for example. If you don't get enough sleep and then all of a sudden you just feel normal, but then you start getting really good sleep for several weeks and oh my God, I feel great. That one night where you only get 4 hours of sleep, you feel like you got hit by a fucking truck and you can't function because all of a sudden your body, you have comparison, you have context, your body has adapted hormone wise and just system-wise to getting quality sleep, and you see that drastic change, and it really opens your eyes. It's the same thing with nutrition. Once you reset, and once you kind of bring that new normal and that control system back, then you notice those drastic changes and you realize how bad these things are for you. Like now if I don't get enough sleep, I feel hammered. And I used to fucking burn the candle at both ends, editing videos all night, X, Y, and Z. But even missing a couple hours of sleep every night just raises all-cause mortality massively. Heart attacks, cancer, stroke, everything across the board. It just destroys your health if you're not getting at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, 7 to 9. There's a fantastic book if you want to check it out. It's called Why We Sleep by Matt Walker. It's fucking unreal. It's a fantastic book, and it'll slap you across the face. And sleep is my top priority, and I've got it locked down now. It took a while because it's hard. Because if you're constantly on your phone or you're constantly using tech or you have a lot of bright lights at night, you have to really cut that shit out. We have those Himalayan salt lamps and really dim them down low. You could use candles and stuff. I have a whole night routine. A lot of you meditate at night. A lot of you have that kind of evening flow. We have the magnesium drink at night and stuff that a lot of people do. That's really good. You just need that proper habit. And, it's really brutal when you are working third shift or you have to get up super early for work, and it's something you don't want to compromise with because a lot of mental health issues, diabetes, all these things dramatically. Like if you miss sleep for like a few nights, your body is like pre-diabetic almost. It fucks your body up completely. Really bad. And the more you learn about it, the thing is with me, and I don't know how a lot of you are, but for me to change my habits and to really take things seriously, I need knowledge. I need to learn. So for a long time, just because it's part of society, it's part of being in front of like screens and being on the computer all the time and getting a lot of stuff done that I need to get done for X and for the business and for producing content and the podcast, not to mention taking a shit, eating, doing stuff, lifting, having a life and all that stuff outside of what I do. It's all kind of like my life. I try to combine everything. But having more information leads me to execute. So I pivot really quickly. When I learn something that's objectively, wow, this is a lot better. It's not like, oh, well, think about it, or, oh, but I like doing this, or, oh, but I like that food so much. Like, nope, that's out. I'm not eating it. Or I'm not doing that. Nope, I'm not sacrificing this anymore. With more information, it's just objective. Oh, that's better. I'm doing that. And I just pivot really quickly. So for me to change a habit or for me to take something seriously, I just need to educate myself in excess about it. And I just go really deep on the subject, and then it's just black and white. And then I just have no compromise. That's a loud plane. Marinara. While I'm in the down dog position, I get a burning sensation in my right heel. Cause for concern or stop being a biche? It's just tightness in your Achilles tendon. I would go easy on that because you don't want to cause inflammation. I would check out foam rolling. You could foam roll the bottom of your feet, maybe roll out your ankles a little bit, do the alphabet. Don't just go right into downward dog. It's good to do full capital letters alphabet with both feet. You might want to use a tennis ball or something on your heel, kind of loosen up the tendon a little bit, foam roll your calves a little bit more. You can also bend your knees a little bit. You don't have to be completely straight legged. Try bending your knees a little bit. That's totally fine. Or adjusting the distance between your hands and your feet. That could be a great thing to do. You could also get those slanted yoga blocks. That might be good for you to slowly ease into it, because if your heels are off the ground, your Achilles is kind of, and your calves and your triceps surae, that same tendon, is contracting because there's resistance there. So if you put a towel under your heels, as far as you have the range of motion, it can definitely take a lot of pressure off and you could ease into it. And then over time, your mobility can increase. Just some thoughts right off the bat. How does the salt lamp help sleep? It's just the color, the lighting, cutting out blue light at night. I'm not talking about like ionized air or anything like that. I'm talking about just like the actual light. You don't want any blue lights. You want to get blue lights and stuff out. All right, we'll take a couple more questions. Let's see what we got here. We got some more over here.
What's in the box?
We got one from Lucas Schmithy. 05, what are some good dieting options for an above average height teen? Some good dieting options, fucking eating a ton of food and lifting heavy weights, do an elimination diet to make sure that you're eating quality foods. And like anything else, if you want to bulk up, eat more. Eat, lift big and eat big. Build some muscle. That's what I'm talking about, baby. You see what happens? Everyone wants good dieting options, but like, oh, grass-fed beef, pastured eggs, eating, sweet potatoes, white rice could be good. Not go easy on the carbohydrates, more quality, healthy fats, fruit, avocados, coconut oil. These are all good options for most people. Everyone usually just goes right for carbohydrates. Nothing wrong with carbohydrates, but everyone's going to react differently to food, but make sure you're getting in quality proteins and quality fats. I'm not a big fan of like super high carb diets personally. On a salt lamp, would that be good for working from a home? Sure. Yeah. The lighting isn't, yeah, sure. Absolutely. I like it. They actually make a Himalayan salt lamp night lights you can plug in. It's like a little like cylindrical brick of salt you can actually plug in. They're kind of heavy sometimes. If you have a loose outlet, you might need to be careful with that, but you plug it in. It's a little salt lamp that just plugs into the wall. At night, that's all we turn on in like the kitchen. We just have a little Himalayan salt lamp. It's really dim, but it's good. And you get blue blocking glasses, get these like orange glasses. I have these for the aviators too, but there's many different types, different companies if you need prescriptions and stuff like that. No, it's not Coke. Some iced coffee because I'm going to go make some fucking gains after. Oh. It gets really hot here in the afternoon because of the way the sun is. So I like to do the show a little bit earlier whenever possible. Earlier or at night, because otherwise like at 4 or 5 o'clock, it's just cooking all day. You might be able to hear the chainsaw outside too. Is it true that studies found that whole milk and fat-free milk is bad since our bodies have already produced it since we were kids? Your body's not producing milk? What do you... You could find a study for anything. That's the answer that I have. There's a study for anything you want to find out there. This is why you have to really get kind of granular with your own individual situation. If you want to find a study that says milk is good, you could find it. You want to find a study that says milk is bad, you could find it. You want to find studies that show that being a vegan is the best, you could find it. You want to find studies. I mean, we need more studies. We need more like interventional studies. But the thing is, we need more studies. Actually, I did hear on a recent podcast that Paul Saladino, right, Carnivore MD, he said he was starting I think it was on that same podcast recently. One of the things I listened to on occasion, and he was saying they're starting a nonprofit to fund some of these studies. But we need studies like we always talk about with beef. Like beef is bad. Well, what else are they eating? Are they eating McDonald's beef? Are they eating sugar? Are they sucking down Coca-Cola? Are they sucking down potato chips along with their grain-fed steak? What kind of steak is it? Are they eating organ meats? Are they meditating? Are they getting quality sleep? Because if you're eating grass-fed beef, but then you're sleeping 4 hours a night, it's going to trash your fucking health. All your markers are going to be destroyed just because you're not getting quality sleep. So most of these studies, and it's not always the study's fault. It's not always the study's fault. It's just the fact that you can't control for all of these things. And if you do, then the person's living in some kind of fucking lab, and that's not natural either. There's going to be other factors that might influence the way someone's reacting. So it's really hard to track a lot of these things. And imagine, okay, self-reporting, that's a huge problem. And then how about 10,000 people self-reporting? People are going to always assume that they're eating better than they are, taking better care of their health than they are. They'll leave something out. They won't report as accurately as they should have, or the study might not ask the right questions. There's a lot of different factors with health. So if you're doing everything, but you're not sleeping well, it's going to be destroying your health. So then you might be eating grass-fed beef and meditating, but then you're sleeping 4 hours a night. You're not going to be healthy. That's raising your all-cause mortality massively, double, triple, quadruple, at least. So how about that for a nutrition study? It's really hard to say. And most people don't want to address these things. Think about all the shit that everyone's worried about. Calories in, calories out. How about fucking sleep? Most people are not getting sleep. They're not eating quality food. They're not exercising. They're not drinking enough water. Right there, people's health is trashed. You think just by cutting your calories by 200, you're going to lose fat. I wonder why people can't lose weight. Most people aren't getting quality sleep, or they're sleeping and they're not sleeping well. People think that 6 hours of sleep is good. It's not. It's not enough. And it's not just the length of time, it's the quality of sleep. So if you're cutting off your REM sleep, towards the end of your sleep cycle, you're losing like 70 to 90% of your sleep, even though you're only cutting 2 hours off. So you're losing the benefits of your sleep just by not getting a couple hours at the end. It's fucking frightening. I'm telling you, check out that book. It'll blow your fucking nips off. It's very scary, but it's so fundamental. And it's one of the top things you can do to have a robust immune system is to get quality sleep. Let's see. Brian added the Swollen 7 mobility workouts before my DoorDash shifts has helped immensely. I also like the single leg movements to address my balance as well. Great stuff. Hell yeah, dude. And plus it's going to help you, isolate those imbalances left to right. You want to make sure we have two sides of the body for a reason, right? We have a left and a right side of our body. Make sure, and when you do single leg stuff, it'll expose those imbalances. Yeah. Good shit. Oh, yeah. Jarella, I had to run studies in college. Self-reported data is unreliable and considered the lowest value type of evidence. No question about it. How many hours of sleep do I recommend? The experts recommend at least 7 to 9. Yeah, at least 7. Usually 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Yeah, at least 7 for sure. And, in some of these books and there's actually... again, that book, Why We Sleep, the author, Matt Walker, was on the Joe Rogan podcast. If you want to listen to that podcast will destroy your fucking nips. You'll find it. It doesn't have to be on Spotify. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's like 2 or 3 years ago. It's 1109, I believe. 1109. I was reading the book and then I did a search and I found he was on Joe Rogan's podcast like 3 years ago. I think it was episode 1109. So you can check that later. I definitely recommend listening to that. It'll fucking blow your mind. It'll blow your mind apart. But the book is fantastic too. It's a long read. I have the audio book and it's like, 12, 13 hours, but it goes through the whole history of sleep. And what's fascinating is that if you think about it, we talk about evolution all the time, right? Why does evolution exist? Well, we're here because of evolution. The way we evolved is based on evolution for a reason. So logically, if you're thinking, well, why have we evolved to sleep for 33% of our life? Seriously, 8 hours out of the day, we have evolved to sleep. And there's an interesting theory in that book that fucking is mind-blowing. It's saying that evolution, a lot of people think that we are awake and we evolved to sleep. But apparently there's, he has another theory that we've evolved to be awake. In other words, like we're like designed to sleep, like from a sleep state is our natural state. And apparently just being awake is brain damage, which is fucking mind blowing. But I think if you don't get if you cut an hour or two sleep, it's the same as being intoxicated when you're driving. And the most accidents or the most deaths are caused by sleep and lack of sleep. And think about it. People are worked to the bone at their jobs. Work to the bone. People barely have time to wipe their ass or go to the gym. And I get it's an excuse, but still it's a realistic one. A lot of people just don't have time because they're working 2 jobs. You got a family, you got bills to pay, you got to commute. People are forced to cut back on their sleep. Oh, I want to go to the gym in the morning. Then you're cutting back on your sleep. It's like, fuck. It's really crazy. But yeah, being awake is essentially brain damage. Like you're doing damage to your brain. Sleeping is so important. Yeah, and apparently anyone that's says like they work better or like they have an adaptation or whatever to get less sleep, apparently it's bullshit. Apparently that's nonsense. Yeah, I definitely don't drink caffeine or coffee too late. Like right now I'm kind of pushing it, but I'm going to work out really hard and hopefully I can drain that shit. So I think it's like, yeah, I mean, and look, if I might be saying shit wrong. I'm trying not to get all the things. Yeah. Matt Walker is the author, Rihanna. But there's essentially sleep pressure. So adenosine is released and builds up in the brain. and that sleep pressure. I think caffeine blocks that sleep pressure, that buildup of that molecule adenosine, which builds up over time and causes you to be drowsy. So caffeine actually blocks. It's fascinating. Check it out. Check it out. Yep, Jarella, my dad fell asleep driving to work and totaled his truck. I did too. I was burning the candle at both ends. This is like 20 years ago. I fell asleep driving. I almost literally, I don't really recall that story too often for myself, but I almost died. There was it was at night and it was on the edge of like a cliff, kind of like a big mountain in Connecticut. And it was really late at night. I was coming back. I was working long. I was training like 7 o'clock in the morning. And then I was working from like 9 to 5 at a coffee shop, 9 to 6. Then I was driving because we moved. So I lived like 45 minutes from my friends. And this is during the summer after freshman year of college. And I would drive all the way down, spend time with them all night till like 2 in the morning, drive back. And there was like really wavy roads up and down, side. It was just like a fucking soft roller coaster, like a lullaby, right? And there was this curve. And there was, you know, the metal guardrail, and then there was a spot, there were places where it wasn't. And then around a curve, there was a little guardrail and there wasn't. Like it was intermittent. It wasn't like a constant guardrail. So I guess I dozed off and then kind of hit the guardrail and then woke up. And when I looked, you know, when you see like the road, it was just like one of those small areas where there was a guardrail, and there was just like fucking, all you saw was trees. It was just dark because it just went down. There's long trees. So I literally would have went off the edge. I would have been dead. So extremely fortunate, but I need to think about that more because that's some fucking scary shit. Oh shit. See, yeah, so you had the same thing. Nick, I was working 3 jobs, sleeping 4 hours a night, got out of bed at 4, fell asleep and went down a 40-foot embankment. Dude, the fact that that's even worse. That's the same thing, but much worse. Fuck, man. I'd be hard. You don't want to make that excuse. You don't want to make that reason, but they're both equally dangerous or very dangerous. But there's more deaths from sleeping. Or a lot of people, like how many people have died from someone else getting hit by someone who was falling asleep at the wheel? A lot of people that fall asleep, like truckers that are doing overnights and stuff like that, you know, will veer off and hit someone. So yeah, I'm sure I get it's definitely more than drunk drivers, I believe. It's definitely, I believe. Aaron says driving drowsy is way more dangerous than driving drunk. Yeah, I think by the stats, that's for sure. They're both equally dangerous, but I think only by cutting off like an hour or 2 of sleep, it's the same as being legally drunk in terms of your brain function. Yeah. It's such bullshit. It's such bullshit. And I did the same thing, right? I run on fumes and like, oh, I'm so good being awake. I can stay up a long time, but it's not good. Yeah. Yeah, it's complete bullshit. You should not be cutting out. Sleep should be, and this is why it's pillar number 4. I mean, it's not, pillar number 4 isn't sleep, but recovery. We always talk about it. Sleep, fill your own cup. It's hydration, it's proper recovery, sleep. That's why it's a fucking pillar of the 7 pillars. So it's extremely important. Never and that's my focus because I have my training. Look, my training's good. And this is from me. I don't want to talk about me. I want to answer your questions. So if you have more questions, drop in the comments below. But my community is tight. We got the fucking Swole fam. So biceps and gorillas all around. My nutrition, I got that shit locked down. My training, I got my training locked. My mobility, I'm good. My mindfulness, I'm good. I'm consistent as fuck. In terms of recovery, I hydrate. My program design's great. But the sleep, that's literally like what I focus on. That's my number 1 priority is my sleep. So even if I have to cut off on some other stuff in terms of like, oh, it's a little bit later today. I don't want to train because I want to be up. Like I will sacrifice, do some mobility, and I will sleep. Extremely important. And yeah, there's a lot of other stuff. Annika, I would recommend reading that book too, because there was something else that he was saying about insomniacs. Like a lot of people that think they're insomniacs aren't really. There's some other issues for that, like that make people think that they're insomniacs, but check it out. I don't want to speak out of turn because I'm not the expert here, but you know, in that I'm not a sleep expert. But what I want to do is just make it very, very known to all of you that shit, I got to look into that more. But that book will tell you that book's fan-fucking-tastic. It's so fucking good. Yep, that's the book, Terry. That's the book we're talking about. Exactly. Check it out. And they have it on Audible and stuff like that. Papa Swolio's book club. Go check it out. I'm going to put up that list. We'll do it in Swole TV. We'll have like the little book club list, of all these books. There's so many books. I'll just put a massive list of all the recommendations. What I actually want to do too, I'll just put it in the Amazon store and put it like a separate list. I think a lot of you want to do that. Annika, it's called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. Unlocking the Power of Sleep and Dreams. Yeah, so I'll add that to the Amazon store soon. All right, so we got more questions. Drop in the comments below. Let's see. Well, think about this. Sleep is key, no doubt. Think about with COVID, right? Everyone's like, oh my God, everyone's getting sick. The majority of the population. Oh, and here's the thing with sleep. Check this out. So I think it was with not getting good sleep. I think it was only getting 6 hours of sleep a night. People on average ate 300 extra calories a day, which led to 70,000 calories a year. So people overate because one, remember we always talk about how when you're tired, your body will crave glucose. You make less, you make poor decisions. It fucks up your hormones, cortisol levels stay elevated, all these different things. So people on average put on like 15 to 20 pounds a year if they get poor sleep. And how many of you have ever noticed that? I've always been saying this, for years. I never, I thought it was just like recovery in general, but every time if you get good quality sleep, for me, for sure, like skin quality, if I ever have like any acne or things like that, it'll clear up. If I sleep, I'll be leaner. Like it's good for everything, your entire body. All right. We got one from Marcus Elwer. List post-workout or fasted morning cardio? I don't do either, so. Hey-o. You don't have to do fasted. Fasted is just, if you feel better doing fasted, but I would focus more on weights. If you really want body composition, if you want to be leaner, the cardio should just be an extra little thing. I wouldn't beat yourself up with cardio. I would say less. What's the difference? Doing a little cardio app. Yeah, you could walk on the treadmill, cool off a little bit, take your dog for a walk, but beating yourself up with cardio, if you're doing plyo or sprints, that's different, but doing tons and tons and tons and tons of like running and shit, it just depends on what you want. If you want to get better at running and you want to run a marathon, that's your preference. But if you're trying to build muscle and like look shredded or look lean, lose body fat, it's not the way people should be going. You should be lifting more weights and eating quality food, cutting down inflammatory food. So lifting more, you'll be able to eat more, lift more, eat more, lose fat. Get better sleep. How about that shit? All right. Let's see. Zach EO5. Zachio 5. Being older, 50s, don't want to get huge like in my younger days. Lighter weight, more reps? No, fuck that shit. That's fucking bullshit. No, lift heavy. Lift heavy. You don't have to do sets of 3, but yeah, still lift for muscle. Absolutely lift for muscle. You're not going to get huge unless you're not going to accidentally get huge, but I would still lift 8 to 15 repetitions. I wouldn't go lighter in weight. You always want to train for strength, maintain that as long as you can. It's exceptionally important when you get older. Don't forget yoga for stabilization, mobility. Very important. This is weird. Genre leap. Can you please tell me to stop putting it in my fucking mouth and be better? I don't know what you're putting in your mouth. Are you talking about a huge fucking dick?
Because dickers?
That's your personal preference. If you want to suck a huge cock, it's up to you. I'm not going to tell you not to do it. Hey, teach their own. Teach their own. It's a free country for now. But yeah, stop putting your, if you're talking about Doritos, you talking about a Twinkie? Yeah, don't put it in your fucking mouth. Tell yourself that. Who cares if some bearded lunatic online tells you not to put in your mouth? You should want that for yourself. Stop being a lazy fat fuck. Go to the fucking gym.
Wait, your biggest stickers? Here's of this.
All right, let's do another one. Oh, we're done the cardio conversation. Evan Breslin. Papa Swole, do you do much cardio or any? Big fan. Keep growing, my dude. Always. Thank you, Evan. I do some cardio. I go take Papa Swole for a walk. I do kettlebell work. I do sled work. I prefer that over doing like long running. No, I go in the sauna every day, which is amazing cardiovascular benefits. Like if you want cardiovascular benefits, the sauna is fantastic. Heart rate goes through the fucking roof. Your body gets really efficient at cooling itself off. And you're not losing any of those adaptations for lifting weights. Remember, your body is going to adapt to the stress you put it under. So if you're doing tons of cardio, yeah, it's definitely hard to put on muscle mass. Your body is pulling in two different directions. You're doing aerobic activity and you're doing a lot of strength training. It's challenging to adapt to one. You'll get much more, it depends on what your goal is. You could definitely get plenty of cardiovascular health, all the cardiovascular health you need by just doing general cardiovascular activity, like I mentioned. You don't need to be just destroying yourself. It could be sprints. It could be plyometrics. It could be a little jump rope to warm up. You just don't have to beat yourself into the ground. People put way too much pressure on cardio. And that's why you have so many people that are skinny fat or not getting results because they're not lifting fucking weights enough. Train like a bodybuilder, honestly. Train like a bodybuilder, add in the yoga, follow the 7 pillars, focus on your nutrition. Again, I'm always assuming that people want to build muscle and lose fat. Why would you not want to? However, if you love to run, that's like your favorite thing in the world, then I'm not here to tell you not to run. If you love running, if you fucking love cardio, seriously, if you love cardio more than anything, like if you love painting, I'm not going to tell you not to paint. If you love rock climbing, then fucking go rock climbing. But if you want to build muscle and lose fat and you want a physique and you want, then obviously there's certain rules. There's certain things you should do. But I'm not doing tons of cardio and I never really have. I mean, I shouldn't say that I did that, but when you do tons and tons of cardio and repetitive movements like that, that's where my injuries came from. Filichak. I want to lose weight, but live in an unhealthy environment and I'm recovering from binge eating disorder. Any advice? Get the fuck out of that environment as quickly as you possibly can. Get out of that environment. It's going to be really hard to get, to fix your situation if you're in a shitty situation. So I appreciate the question, but like you're answering your question in your question. You're in an unhealthy environment. Now, of course, not everyone's going to have the ability just to get up and move, for example. But if you're recovering from binge eating disorder, I mean, if you have access to counseling, if you have access to, meditation, cutting out as much noise as you possibly can, listening to a lot of positive podcasts on binge eating disorder, meditation, like I said, reading, learning, isolating yourself as much as you can from the bullshit in your environment, taking control of your food, exercising regularly, surrounding yourself with positive people online if you don't have it in your physical environment. Just some thoughts off the bat, but like, it's really hard if you're in a shitty environment, aside from just like literally your answer, like get the fuck out as quickly as you can. Just some thoughts, but thank you for the question. It's just really hard if you're in that environment, you're submerged in it. Yeah, actually this is something that hits really recent to me. Booger Bubble says, the AC being very cold, as does cooling mattress toppers, but unfortunately these do only so much. Yeah, they have like some sleep tech. And here's the thing, I was going to order. I actually did. I'm going to cancel my order for that 8 sleep. It's expensive. I was going to like really splurge and get that. It's like a cover for the bed and it cools and stuff like that. But it's fucked up because it's so weird. Like this is a really popular sleep tech product, like a cooling, it sends like water through the top of the bed and stuff like that. But it has to be constantly attached to Wi-Fi. And I refuse, like all the Wi-Fi, like everything is shut down. I don't have any Wi-Fi. My phone's in airplane mode, whatever. I'm not using it. Like I don't want any of those EMFs or fucking microwave, pulses going through my body. The last thing I want is a Wi-Fi tower next to my fucking head while I sleep. It's ridiculous. I thought it only need to be connected to Wi-Fi when it was set up, but there's no way I'm connecting Wi-Fi. Like there's no phones in the room, no Wi-Fi on, everything as much as possible is unplugged and turned off. So it's really fucking weird. So I thought it was only to set it up and then it would run, but it's like, why would you make a product that needs to be constantly connected to Wi-Fi that's going to go right next to the top of the fucking bed? No, it's not the bed, it's the topper. You might have heard of it. It's called 8 Sleep and it got great reviews. I'm like, oh shit. And I thought it was only to connect. Hey, set it up via Wi-Fi. Makes sense. All right, cool. It's got an app. I don't care about, here's your sleep tracking. I don't give a fuck about that. If I sleep well, I'll know I sleep well. You don't wake up, you wake up and naturally that's fine. But apparently it needs to be attached to Wi-Fi all the time. It's like, what the fuck? Like, that's terrible for your sleep to have Wi-Fi going on. Literally microwave signals going through your brain. Absolutely retarded. There's no fucking way I would want that. Yeah. Really weird. Really weird. So I didn't, I guess it's my fault for like not understanding that, but I thought it was just common sense. I'm like, okay, that's weird. You have to connect it. Weird. Yeah, I did that Whoop band for a while. I didn't look at it once. I just hated having something on my wrist. I don't like that. I don't like that. Or they have like the Aura ring and stuff. I'm like, I'm not wearing a fucking ring. It's fuck wants to wear a ring, tracking ring. I don't know. I couldn't care less about the data like that. But it should be cold. So depends where your modem is. No, actually it doesn't. Like if it's in your house, you're getting it. You just don't want it connecting to your room. Yeah, it's less if you have a further distance. But what I'm saying is it needs Wi-Fi. Like it needs a Wi-Fi connection. So I asked customer service and they said, oh, or you can use another phone to use as a hotspot. It's like, I'm not fucking hotspotting. Plus, if you want to adjust it, you have to use the app. So it's like, what, in the middle of the night or something? If something's, I want to open up my phone. I want to look at my screen in the middle. It's nonsense. Weird. Who the fuck would want that? How is that sleep quality? How is that sleep tech? I don't know. It was weird. Weird. What's up, Nathan? Papa Swolio. So there was a study. I know how much you love those. Hey, I said, look, when I say I don't like studies, it depends on how they're interpreted, right? When, like we talked about earlier, there's a study for anything. So it's like, if you want to find a study that shows this, like, you can go look for one, right? But I think people need to be their own study too. Like test and see what works for yourself, right? It comes down to the nutrition, the food training, like what works best for you when it comes to sleep. It's very important. A lot of what I say is usually about, okay, if you're having trouble sleeping or trouble doing this, it's like, then do this, make it darker, do this. It's going to make a big difference. Let's see. There's a study about fast food and it said that 35% of Americans eat fast food for certain reasons. I may be wrong, but your opinion, 35. What do you mean for certain reasons? My opinion on what? I think that's extremely low. What was, do you need more context for that study? 35% of Americans eat fast food. That's way too low. Not even close. In what frequency? That's way too low. And what are you considering fast food? Seriously, I think if you're drinking a Coca-Cola, if you're drinking a Coke, that's fast food. That's junk food. Like the people that go to a Burger King, people eat fast food in their home all the time. Yeah, I don't think it's anywhere. 35%, it's probably more like 95 or 99, to be honest. Yeah, you need a smart fridge. A smart fridge. Yeah, all that shit's turned off. I unplug my router. I unplug everything. Like right now I'm getting fucking Wi-Fi. I hate it. Like right when I'm done, I unplug all that shit and I go outside and I walk around barefoot and stuff. Let's see here. All right, good questions, good shit. Let's see here. Let's see here. We got one. Any more questions in closing? One more. Let's see. We got American Will. I'm assuming American We 11. What if you don't have spare money for the gym? Train at home. Train at home.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
You don't need money for the gym. So I always get this on TikTok, like, but I don't have money. Are you going to pay for my gym membership? I'm like, first, take some responsibility. And if you can't make an extra $30 a month, it's like, train at home. Train at home. The gym is wherever you train. My gym is home now. Does it matter where it is? No, it doesn't. Your gym could be in your living room. You move your dine at your living room table and you train and that's your gym. It's your gym. Anywhere you want. Oh, damn, Jarella. I literally never eat fast food. My husband does all the time. Yeah, that's fucking bullshit. Yeah, I started training like when they first, because in Florida, they only shut down shit here for like a month or a couple of weeks. But I started training at home and I haven't gone back. I literally haven't. I keep thinking about it. Sometimes I miss it. Seriously, sometimes I miss the environment of the gym. But then I'm like, I don't want to wear a shirt. I'm like, I don't want to wear shoes. I don't want to get in the car and go somewhere. I'm like, but people are there. I'd rather just stay home and fucking smash. And I also like the challenge of like smashing and fucking inspiring. I fucking love it. I love it. You're making excuses, bro. Doesn't mean that you fucking sit inside a microwave. Neighborhoods have Wi-Fi all over. Yeah, but you could also block. There's many ways to mitigate EMF. Yeah, I know. But again, it's not in your bedroom. It might be outside, but it's definitely less than if you have a Wi-Fi tower next to your bed, bro. That's my point. You're absolutely right, though, for sure. They have like EMF paint. A lot of people, there's some paints that can block EMFs that people put grounding plates in their walls, and you can have EMF. You can have like Faraday cages and like EMF curtains that go around your bed, or like little floorboards and things. Like they're everywhere. You're never going to get rid of them completely, especially if you live in populated areas, for sure. But it doesn't mean you have to have one right next to your dome. Same thing with your phone. You don't want to be like, I stop using, like, I try to minimize and, using any kind of like wireless headsets, like having your phone up to your ear. You can use speakerphone. There's a lot of, yeah, it definitely matters, but to what level and to what extent, that you do the best that you can. But a lot of people don't want to do it because it seems so obsessive. It seems so foofy, but it's real. It's fucking real. So I think it's ironic that people are going to care about what they eat, and they're going to care about exercising, and they're going to care about their hair or whatever, but they're not going to care about literally just getting body fucked by these microwaves. So in other words, there's always something more you can do, but you're absolutely right. Like you ever like turn on your Wi-Fi and you have like 30 different Wi-Fi signals, and it's like, but here's the thing, you don't have to have it next to your bed. Why add to it, right? Why make it worse is my point. So that's really what it comes down to. Doing the best that you can. It definitely matters. It absolutely matters. There's other different supplements and things you can take. There's things like molecular hydrogen that you can take that's supposed to help for the, the cellular and DNA damage that can be caused by this kind of stuff. So there's different things, but you do the best that you can. Do the best that you can. But you're right. You're right. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Good question here. Let's see what we got. Let's take one more. Drew767747. Papa Swole, do you do hot yoga, or do you keep the sauna separate? I like hot yoga. I haven't gone back to a hot yoga studio. So right now I just do it separate. I do a lot of mobility work with resistance now, in combination to some yoga and stretching, but I do a lot of like mobility and strength through full range of motion. So I get a ton of mobility. Remember, the pillars, pillar number 5 is mobility. It's not yoga. So there's different ways to do mobility training. Yoga is one component of it. Of course, you have static stretching. You have full range of motion and full stretches you should be doing weighted full stretching under resistance. So you're working your muscles through a full range of motion under load, very light in many cases. And of course you build up to it. So right now I do it separate. My sauna is not big enough to do yoga in it, but it's way too hot for me to want to fucking do yoga. That shit gets up to like, that shit just fucking hot as balls. That shit gets up to like 200 degrees. I'm like, I don't want to do yoga in that if I could. But hot yoga is fantastic. It doesn't get that hot. You don't make it that hot in a hot yoga studio. It depends on what it is. Depends on what kind of yoga it is. And of course, if you have access to a hot yoga studio, and they're popping up more and more. So, if you live in like the middle of nowhere, you might not have a hot yoga studio, but if you live in more like populated areas, there are usually many of them, but they can get pricey too. You're spending for unlimited classes. You might be spending $100, $150 a month. Whereas you could join Swole No Mercy in the Swole Fan, where we have coming up on 200 classes. You could stream 24/7, 365, and you can go outside. It's the summer. So I'll tell you what, you want hot yoga, just Florida, go outside, get a little tent or go in the shade and do some fucking yoga. It'll be hot as balls. You don't need hot yoga when you're in Florida or out west, right? I guess if you have like a forest fire, you don't want to go outside, but hot as fuck right now everywhere in the country. So just do yoga outside. Any good books or podcasts on the Wi-Fi issue? Oh my God. I'm sure there's so many podcasts. I mean, you have to go to those. You probably have to look for more. I'm trying to think of people that would talk about a lot. Ben Greenfield would talk a lot about, he's always been really big on minimizing EMF. He's really into all the biohacking and putting infrared lights on his ball sack and shit like that. So that's, you probably more for podcasts. I'm not sure what books are out there, but he's one of those. He has a podcast. I'm sure you could just do a Google search. A lot will pop up, but, yeah, you could look up ways to like mitigate EMF, electromagnetic fields. So that will bring up a lot of, I'm sure a lot more than just that, just his. I just know from like searching and looking up and reading articles and stuff that his name pops up a lot. He's big into the whole biohacking thing and shit. So again, it can get pretty overwhelming. It really can get very overwhelming when you really get into it. It can seem overwhelming, right? Like, oh my God, I have to live in a fucking bubble. But like we talk about all the time, you have to recreate your environment. We're not living in a natural world. Now you can make the argument as to what natural world is. I didn't mean infrared. I mean like red light therapy. There's something from a long time ago. I remember he was saying like he puts like red light in his ball sack. I mean, I do when I go out in the sun. I make sure I get some sun on my sack and stuff like that. Make sure it's good for you. Too much information. Heyo, ball sack.
What's in the box?
Where was I going with that? It can seem overwhelming with all this information, but we don't live in a real natural world in the sense like we don't live in the woods. We have a lot of things that we've created that we're inundated with. So no surprise, right? We just have to do our best to recreate our natural environment so we don't succumb to a lot of these issues that we haven't adapted. Like think about the EMFs and think about, I'm not saying, 5G, but absolutely it all fucking matters. It absolutely all fucking matters. Cell towers everywhere, Wi-Fi everywhere. It absolutely 1000% affects our bodies. 1000%. Not even a doubt. To what extent? Well, a lot of these studies don't want to be funded or they'll be written off as kook studies because the powers that be and the people that have all the money are the ones that want this out there. So it definitely affects us, affects the bees, affects animals, right? It's known to do that. Not to mention like environmental toxins, X, Y, and Z. So you do the best that you can to recreate our natural environment. We haven't evolved. This is all done in the last like 50, 60, 70 years. So our bodies are still ancient in comparison. So we have to do our best to try to recreate that just for our own benefit. And if you don't, then don't. But you'll be one of the, if you want to be a statistic, if you don't want to try, then don't try. Well, I want to live my life and do this. Okay, then do it. No one's stopping you, but that's why like 80% of the population is overweight, obese, and people are dying left and right. There's no shocker as to why. Everyone's doing the exact opposite. No one's talking about these things, or very few people are. And all these bad habits are just perpetuated and promoted all the time. So that's why. That's why everyone doesn't seem to be getting better. We keep on getting fatter, but we're doing all this stuff. We talk about health all the time, but oh my God, obesity keeps on going up. No shit. People will stop fucking eating. They're not sleeping. They're not exercising. What do you think's going to fucking happen? They're sucking down vegetable oils. They're eating all these fucking like toxic plants and they're eating shit quality meat and soda and crap. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? How stupid can people be? No one cares about that. Get the vaccine. Just get the vaccine and you'll be all better. That's why people are still getting sick with it, because your immune system still fucking blows. Vaccines don't stop diabetes. And those are just some fucking facts.
Hadouken! You make me happy.
All right, let's give away today's Swole card. That's it for today. Make sure you join the fam over at swolenormousx.com. Remember, last day to get on that Hot Swole Summer Special. Go fucking join the fam tomorrow. Mañana at, what is it, 12 noon Eastern time. Look at that fucking beard. Look at that fucking hammer. 12 noon Eastern time tomorrow, July the 26th. Make sure you are there. 12 noon Eastern time. We got new releases. You're going to love these releases. As always, it's going to be fucking lit. It's going to be fucking awesome. And of course, you can catch today's episode later if you missed part of it over YouTube, The Daily Swole. Follow me on TikTok, The Daily Swole, and The Daily Swole on Instagram. And of course, Apple Podcasts, Spotify will be up shortly. All right. Ask Papa Swole You Live, Sunday Funday Q&Anus. Super fucking awesome. Good questions today, fam. A lot of good questions. A lot of good action. A lot of good fucking sweet action. Falcon, what do we got here? You think we got a winner? Can we find us a winner, fam? Can we find us a winner, Falcon? Pick me a good one, Falcon. Pick me a good one. Well, use your claw. Use your other claw. I can't do it for you. Oh, wouldn't you fucking know it? Sarge, congratulations, you fucking scallywag. Congratulations, brother. It's on this, it was on this good post too. Very nice, Falcon. Well done. Yes, I know he won. I know. Congratulations, Brian Sargent. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com, swolecard 1906 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email, and we have a ton. I gotta get some more stamps, bruh. We got a ton of these awesome Swole cards that are going to go out this week. So if you're still waiting on a Swole card, they are coming. We just have Mama Swolio gets back today. Shortly. Papa Swolio is very excited. So we'll have some more Swole cards going out soon. We'll get some more shit going out there. So if you're waiting on them, they are on their way this week. Very excited about that. All right, let's nut this beach. Go get your pump on. Go eat a steak. Go watch the Olympics. Ha 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 ha. I gotcha. I gotcha. Oh my
Sell
goodness.
crazy someplace
All
else.
right.
We're all stocked up here.
All right, fam. Go make some sick fucking gains. And of course, I'll see you in the Telegram chat as well. Remember, swolenormousx.com for not for a chance to win, but to join the Swole fam today. Hot Swole Summer Special ends tonight. Don't fucking miss it. Falcon. God damn it. Where's his buttons? Falcon. God damn it. I know. We'll fucking close this bitch up. I don't care about your fucking problems. Good Lord.
You can't be at least mildly interested, then shut the hell up.
My name's Forrest Gump.
USA, greatest country in the world.
Lieutenant Dan.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Come on, man.
All right, fam. What an episode. Thank you for joining me for episode 1906 of the Most Muscular Swolecast, Beercast Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pincast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. You like that shit? You like that shit? I fucking know you do, Falcon. I fucking know you do. I know you do, bitch. 12 noon, Eastern time, fam. 12 noon. 12 noon. 12 noon. 12 noon. Tomorrow. Inside the Swole fam, you motherfucking beaches, yeah. No. Fucking nailed it. Fucking nailed it. Oh, yeah.
He's on fire!
I didn't know they stacked shit that high.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Shampoo my crotch.
Boom shakalaka!
The more you hate me, the more you will learn.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down, so it was straight, and then watch the hair
I'd be the
come
luckiest
back
guy
up
alive
again.
if that did it for me.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Go get yourself a steak. Go lift. Go make some sick fucking gains. We'll see you tomorrow for the accountability meeting. Remember, join today, swolenormousx.com. Don't miss out on the Hot Swole Summer Special. Ends tonight at midnight. Don't fucking miss it. And we'll see you tomorrow for the accountability meeting inside Swole TV, 12 noon Eastern Time, Monday. Be there or be square. Peace, McGee's, deuce, Magoose, your boy, Papa Swolio. Oh.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like...
Then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard to the paint you. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Whoa, my shit is relevant. Off topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons out closets and making new deposits. I'm in my